Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, looking through the news today, trying to figure out what I was going to read on. Oh, appears that Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis are going to have a debate. Well, that ought to be fun. DeSantis, as we all know, is the governor of Florida. Gavin Newsom is the governor of California. And they've traded barbs over the last couple of years from anything involving COVID to immigration, so on and so forth. And DeSantis just feels the need to take immigrants and then fly them under false pretenses to blue states like California and New York and basically abandon them there under the guise of strong borders. Yeah, I wonder how that. Wonder how the immigration things going on in Florida, where all the migrant workers were leaving and not doing work. I haven't seen much in the way of TikToks. I don't know if it's recovered or not. Anybody from Florida who's watching my channel, throw in the comments what's currently going on with the labor situation over there. Okay, so they're going to be on Hannity, I guess, having a debate. My high tech situation here. Get my box and my laptop set up. That's not an earthquake. They're going to be on Hannity having a debate. What's going to be the energy around that? How's this going to turn out? Entertainment purposes only. DeSantis, Newsom, Hannity. Well, I think they're both going to get their points in there. They're both going to come in with their truths and whatever claims that they make or whatever high road they take, the other person is going to bring some reality to that person's point of view. Because I mean, with any well-intentioned idea, there's going to be a consequence, or there's a balance, there's a price to pay for that. And I think they are going to be balancing each other out. Will anybody have their minds changed by this? We'll see. Certainly anybody who supports DeSantis isn't going to suddenly support Newsom and vice versa. So it really comes down to any independents or people who haven't made up their mind. And it just seems like there's not too many of those around much. Besides, Newsom isn't running for president yet. That might be a 2028 thing, but it's not going to be a 2024 thing. I'm only laughing because in this card I gave them both credit and then this card shows up. Which one of the two of them seems like they're immature, incapable of forming an articulate point, and relies on lies and obfuscations to make their points across? I think despite all this, somebody's going to come across as a debate master, and somebody's going to come across as a rookie who, the only reason why he could do a debate is he's able to put together words that form a sentence. The person who somebody prepped, and this is all about prep. Somebody prepped for this one, somebody didn't. Now, this could end up being Newsom for all we know, right? Because if DeSantis just comes out with a bunch of lies and makes stuff up, culture wars type stuff, you have to have your fact checks. And how do you fact check a lie before you've ever heard the lie? It takes a long time to fact check. But if you have prepared a well-reasoned argument and you know what your opponent's going to say and you can do the work to undermine him, there might very well be a winner in all this. In the past, we have the High Priestess. Since this is more of a left-leaning channel, I think this is fools and wise people. A wise person doesn't say much, and they'll do a bunch of research so that when they do speak, when they do open their mouth and sound comes out, it's intelligent, it's well-reasoned, it's logical, it impacts the audience. A fool doesn't do that, and they just open their mouth and spew stuff. Now, it works well if people want to believe whatever it is that you're saying, But if you haven't done the prep work, you leave yourself open for criticism and a counterpoint to be made that undermines your opinion based on the facts, if you're basing it on facts. This is the pearl of wisdom. In its highest form, you come across as wise. In its lowest form, you come across as a fool. And while the Page of Swords is not a fool card, it's somebody who really doesn't know what they're doing. It's like getting into a sword fight with a master. Somebody's gonna be embarrassed in this debate. Yeah, it's the prep work. The current situation is somebody did the prep work and somebody didn't. And it's really going to show. They'll certainly showcase their values. And and Pentacles can also be healthcare. I'm sure the discussion of healthcare will come up. You pretty much know DeSantis is going to say how California is being ruined by open borders, and San Francisco is a dumpster fire with all the homeless people in it, so on and so forth. And Newsom's going to talk about, we like immigrants coming in. We're a big agricultural state, and they're a huge part of our agricultural industry, and how we feed the world type of thing. And we just had a China and other countries in for a big economic summit in San Francisco. So it's going to show the values, and don't doubt for a second that Newsom will bring out all the immigrants leaving Florida, and that DeSantis is shipping immigrants against under false pretenses to California. And how's that working out for you? That it's going to be that kind of thing. Overarching energy is keeping things close to the vest. The fool is going to be the one who opens their mouth and throws attacks out there. If you're attacking, somebody needs to defend. But if you're attacking, you're opening yourself up for a counterattack. So if you say nothing and this person, let's say they're right on 9 out of 10 items, that 10th one that they're wrong on, that's where the counterattack comes back. Because you point out how wrong that one is, and then it undermines the 9 points that you may have gotten right. So it's keeping, it's keeping your defenses up so you don't give the opponent the opportunity to land a telling blow or a scoring blow. But again, we've got Pentacles, we've got health, and we've got economy. Health and economy. Newsom might say how California's economy is growing and Florida's is contracting. And it's not good for Floridians when their economies are contracting, because you're chasing away immigrants. Immigrants open up your economy. The lesson to be learned is the Hanged Man. It's kind of like, again, I think we're going to hit immigration on this one, where DeSantis is going to use immigration. It's all low energy stuff with DeSantis. It's he's going to use them as the sacrificial lamb, that they're everything that's wrong. And then Newsom will say it's actually quite different. It's everything that's right with the United States is immigration coming in. I'm curious if this also means that people will really see the difference between these two candidates. And it could very well be, with this card, that this starts activating young people, the Gen Zers out there. That Newsom is a young guy with ideas, big ideas that might really resonate with young people and progressives. And there we are with our young people and our progressives. I think there's going to be youthful people that come out and see the value in this debate. And since most young people tend to be left-leaning, they're supportive of the LGBTQ community, they're supportive of women's rights, they want an opportunity to work, make money, and have the American dream, and not be, just stepped on by folks who don't know what they're talking about, I think Gavin Newsom is going to come away from this debate in really good form. Again, I freely admit I am biased in that one, but which one of the two of them looks like they would do prep, would actually do some research, prepare for the debate to be polished, and which one looks like he's going to show up and just shout out his opinion, and he figures the louder he shouts out his opinion, the more right he's going to be. DeSantis hasn't set himself apart on that stage of Republican presidential hopefuls in 2024. He's actually, his campaign really seems to be floundering. I really need to do a follow-up to see how his finances are doing there. I mean, to the point where Nikki Haley has passed him for the number 2 spot. Okay, now mind you, this will be on Hannity's show, so yeah, the audience, if you see reviews on it or something like that, realize, or if it was done in front of a live audience, DeSantis is going to get a lot of cheers because it's Fox, it's Hannity, it's DeSantis. Newsom's is going to be going into a lion's den here if it's something that's like a live audience, and it echoes Fox's demographics. Okay. How will people look at DeSantis after this? Or let's find the main issue that separates these two candidates: their ability to plan for the future and the actions that they take. With DeSantis, how are people going to feel about it? He's a disaster waiting to happen. Deal with the devil. Good Lord, what horrible cards. That he has a bright idea, but it's in a lonely place, i.e. his brain. It's the only bright idea he has. He has his values, the things that he champions, but they're a disaster. And it leads to all sorts of unintended consequences. DeSantis wants the day where, he's in charge and everybody's grateful that he's there because he's there. But he's been a disaster to Florida. The whole thing with Disney. If I were Newsom, I would just hammer on the fact that we have Disney in Los Angeles and they have Disney over in the Reedy Creek area, and Disney gets along well in California, but doesn't seem to get along well in Florida, and there's no lawsuits going on with Disney, and they're a big employer. How are things going for you on that one? Florida's been a disaster because DeSantis wants to be in charge and wants people to adore him and his backwards policies, but he just makes lousy decisions, and then he's stuck with them. And the political cronyism and that running for president and changing the rules so he can still say governor while running the president. Florida's a mess right now, and people are going to come away understanding how much of a mess Florida is. What about Newsom? As Florida is going down, California is prospering. The contrast, they're going to look at California, despite the fact that DeSantis say that San Francisco is a dumpster fire. California as a state in general is prospering. Newsom, he represents people that are marginalized, and he's a strong supporter of the marginalized community. He comes up with innovative ideas, new ideas to couple with older values on those lines. And he's a man of action. He's trying to find progressive votes. If this were lower energy, these are MAGA. On higher energy, these are young people with progressive ideas. And he tries to empower that using, compassion for all people and trying to do that. And you can build a good economy on that as well. Yeah, in the end, it's about your charity, who you're helping, where the money is going, and who it's helping. With DeSantis, the money stays up top, and there isn't much money flow going on, especially when you're in court cases against Disney. Whereas California, we pay a metric buttload in taxes, but we're a huge state and we're trying to help a lot of people out. In the end, I think, again, I'm biased and I freely admit it. I believe Newsom is going to do much better than DeSantis in this debate, and I think the audience is going to take that away too when when the debate's said and done. Again, is it going to be a huge shift? Only with people that it matters, really. Young people and independents, and again, maybe suburban housewife type of things. The MAGA folks aren't going to change their mind. And Republicans, for the most part, are not going to change their mind. Democrats aren't going to change their mind. DeSantis is just one step to the side of Trump. In some ways worse, some ways mildly better. But don't expect the people who've already made up their mind to change their mind. It's the people who haven't made up their mind yet that will be impacted by this. Net positive for Gavin Newsom and the Democrats is going to be my prediction there. Anyways, thank you. I didn't hit the pause button this time. No accidental video crashing and stopping. Thank you for supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for your comments and your shares and your likes and everything you do to boost this channel, because sure as hell ain't my video editing that's doing this. Thank you for helping my video get out to a wider range of viewers. To new viewers and new subscribers, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you found us. Other than the occasional technical glitch, I hope you found this reading insightful, and hope you have a good time with us on future videos. Take care.